Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. I am Dr. Sudeep, a radiologist, and in this video I will discuss how I try to retain and remember information in my long-term memory. So as students, you must have realized that you have a lot of information to remember to pass your exam. Even we as practitioners need a lot of information so that we can recollect it whenever we want. Say there may be some common conditions which we need to report to, and we need to remember the common findings in those conditions whenever we are writing a report. So let me tell you how I'd go and do about it. So first is, if you're reading an article, you're reading a textbook, or you're watching a YouTube video or any educational material which you're trying to retain. So first what I'll do is I'll just read about it. I will read that article from starting to end. I will read that textbook chapter, or even I can watch that YouTube video from beginning to end. So this way I get a complete understanding in my first reading or in my first watching. Then what I will do is I will go and Google about it, so I get more information. So once I Google about it, that's the power of Google. When you Google anything, you will get more information from various resources. Somebody might have written a blog on it, somebody might have written an additional article on it, there might be YouTube videos explaining that article or that textbook particular chapter. So once you have that, so you've sort of now got, say, minimum two or three resources in that one central chapter which you are trying to understand. Then what I will do is I will take a blank sheet of paper, or I will take my Pages app in my laptop, and I will try to write a summary. So how do I write a summary? I will just mention a short sentence of, say, 3 or 4 words, and then I will write maybe a paragraph or 2 paragraphs just trying to explain that concept in little more detail so I can understand it in my own words. I'm not going to use the textbook. I'm not going to again watch the YouTube video. I'm just going to try and summarize what I have remembered, and I will put it in those 10 points. Next, I will try to make some tables, I will try to make some flowcharts, and I will try to make some diagrams. In case if I am not able to write the 10-point summary, I can just write tables, flowcharts and diagrams. I will this way what happens is basically I can try to reinforce the information in a visual form. So instead of writing those dull paragraphs, I will just use a flowchart or a table, so I can just remember the information immediately. So once you've completed these 2 steps, next step is to try and explain this to somebody. So who will you explain it to? It could be your friend, it could be your study partner, or it could be even your family member who has absolutely no understanding what you're saying. But you can still just catch hold of them and explain it to them what you're trying to understand. So this is, you're doing it for your own sake, so that when you explain it to others, your concepts will get more and more stronger. You will identify in that what you have not understood, because you will explain it to somebody in a very simple language, and if you've not understood it, just make a note out of it, write that particular point what you were trying to explain but you could not, and then make a note out of it. Once you make a note out of it, go back and read that article or watch that video again, and then again make a short note about it. So this way you will understand what all mistakes you have made when explaining it to others. You can even make a section separately where you just write down what are the concepts which you have missed. So next time you go to that article, you will just, or your notes basically, you will just go to that section where you can read what all you missed explaining it to somebody else. So instead of reading the whole thing, you can just read, okay, this is point 1 to point 3 I just missed when I was explaining it to somebody. So you revise that again. Next is the step which is very interesting. What I use is an app called Otter. What it does is it just transcribes your voice. So I use that app and I just try to explain it to the Otter app itself what I have tried to explain somebody else. But you know, when I do it say 15 days or a month later. Okay, so in this time, if I've really understood that article, even after 15 days, at least 15 days later, I should be able to remember at least, say, 50% out of what I had read for the first time. So I will open that app and I will just take any concept, say key findings of tuberculosis in the brain, or key findings of tuberculosis in the abdomen on a CT scan or an MRI. So it could be anything, and I will just try to write down whatever I can remember what I had read 15 days back. So this way, I'm sure I'm going to be missing few points here and there. But if I remember my tables, if I remember my flowchart, if I remember my diagrams, then I will not have forgotten everything. I will remember at least 50%, and then I can go back to the Otter. So the Otter basically can then save your transcribing. Once you saved your transcribing, you can compare that to what your notes were. Again, write down in the missed sections of your pages or your document what all did you miss transcribing the second time and you did it 15 days later. So this way now you have basically, okay, the first time I tried to explain, this is what I missed. 15 days later when I tried to revise, this is what I missed. And then you just keep revising it again and again. So this is what is the concept of spaced repetition. So you've sort of understood the article for the first time, then you've googled about it, then you have made a summary out of it, you have explained it to somebody, and you have then transcribed it in Otter so that you have reinforced it and you've done a spaced repetition. And then you can just keep rereading what all did you miss from your pages, the notes which you've made, or even you can retranscribe it again and again. So this can be used for difficult concepts which you are not able to understand for the first time, and it's a great way of remembering information from the ground up. You are not going to mug up anything, you are just trying to understand what you have written in your own words. So it is very difficult to forget what you have understood yourself. So I hope this video is helpful to you and you can use this in your day-to-day practice, and I wish you all the best and see you in the next video. Bye bye.